Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I just wanted to make a few comments before I play this video. And in the video, I also include some updates to this particular story. But at any rate, I wanted to say something about the black man that was seen recently that did the stabbing to the Ukrainian woman in Charlotte. Number one, that story came out August the 22nd. That's number one. Number two, if any of you have seen the video, I'm not going to play the video here, you will notice that intentionally the metro system or rail system in Charlotte that provided the video, or maybe it was even Charlotte's local news, decided to mute the sound. And I was hearing on the internet and some people in the far right stating that, in fact, this black man said he got a white woman or something to that nature. But I'm hearing a lot of things that are making this story very, very, very racial. What I find interesting is that this same type of attitude does not seem to exist when there's mass shootings such as the Church 9 that happened in South Carolina in 2015. Look it up if you don't know anything about it. I'm not going to go into it at this point. In terms of turning it very racial. When I saw the video of the black man on the rail in Charlotte, it looked to me that he was mentally insane. I am not a psychiatrist, nor any kind of psychologist or doctor that can diagnose, but he just didn't look right in the first place. He looked to be murmuring to himself, talking to himself. He could have been even hearing voices. I also want to address that I find it hard to believe that he went to jail 14 times and they did not know he was mentally insane enough to do what he's done. So I think that this is an opportunity to shine a very bright light on mental health conditions. This man doesn't seem to be able to get better. And that's part of the reason why you do see the video where he's murmuring or talking to himself. And once the Ukrainian woman gets on the ride and sits directly in front of him, within less than 5 minutes, he's standing up and stabbing her to death. Obviously, this man is mentally deranged and insane. And I strongly doubt that some parties that have had run-ins with this man in terms of organizations or whatnot, especially being in jail, did not know that he was that crazy. I'm sorry. And I can go a step further in terms of my beliefs on that, but he in no way, fashion, or form should have been let out. It tells me either they didn't want to deal with him or they didn't have the proper place to put him. But he obviously is deranged and did not need to be out into the community. And I don't think there's any particular new laws that have passed that would have allowed a mentally insane person who is a danger to the community out in the public. It may just be a matter of just turning the other way and hoping that he doesn't do anything. So I just wanted to address that. And my prayers go out to anyone that has been a victim of any particular crime. Now I'm going to start my video, but I just wanted to point that out. Thank you. There appears to be a white amnesia when it comes to covering certain stories. And the reason I say this is everyone is talking about, and some in a racial overtone, about the black guy who's mentally insane, clearly, in Charlotte, that stabbed the Ukrainian woman. They just released the video footage. However, that happened August the 22nd. While overlooking what just happened this past Labor Day weekend with a gentleman by the name of Samuel Erickson in or near Cincinnati, Ohio, that basically cased the home of 3 black people, spoke to a neighbor while sitting in front of the home, went around a circle, and then came back and went inside their home and basically did a mass shooting. So with that stated, I want you to take a look at the video, and then I'll come back with additional comments.
The man police say killed 3 people, then turning the gun on himself, has now died as well. Thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Cherie Palello.
And I'm Ashley Kirkland. This tragedy happened over the weekend in Mount Washington. WLWT News 5 anchor Chris Jacobs joins us as police reveal more on this murder-suicide here, Chris.
They're revealing more, and still so many unanswered questions here. That suspect being identified today is 26-year-old Samuel Erickson. Police telling us he died after shooting himself. Now, Erickson is accused of shooting and killing 3 people. They've been identified as 20-year-old Fiven Adugna, 22-year-old Eden Adugna, and 27-year-old Bimnet Doris. This all happened Saturday in Mount Washington on Beacon Street. When police got to the scene, Doris and one of the women had already died. The other woman, along with Erickson, were taken to the hospital where they both later died. We're told Fiven and Eden were sisters who both worked as pharmacy technicians for Good Sam Hospital. Both of them were studying medicine and were nearly done with med school at UC. Bimnet had just graduated from UC and received a new job. Now, police have not released any other information about a potential motive. We will keep you updated as we learn more. Chris Jacobs, WLWT News 5.
3 dead, another person injured, and police say that person is the suspected shooter. It all happened yesterday afternoon on Beacon Street. Officers told us it unfolded both inside and outside of a home. And tonight, the victims have been identified. But police are still working to understand how they may have been connected to their suspected gunman. Tonight, Connor Steffen's in the neighborhood. Now for a second day, you were talking to neighbors out there. Connor, what did you learn today?
Yeah, Adrian, I've been covering this investigation for the past 24 hours. We are learning some new information about the victims today, but a lot of what we're learning comes from neighbors who sat and watched on Stunned yesterday for hours. As a traumatic scene,
it was pretty chaotic.
Becomes ingrained into memory.
Everything becomes unreal. You can't quite absorb it.
Homeowners in this Mount Washington neighborhood are grappling with what they've seen.
It was a very strange day.
Leaves a mark, for sure.
According to police, a man shot and killed 3 people at this apartment building on Sunday. It happened both inside and outside of the residence. 2 died at the scene, another later at the hospital. 27-year-old Bimnet Doris, 22-year-old Eden Adugna, and 20-year-old Fiven Adugna.
It felt like time stopped. Everything stopped. You knew something bad happened.
Police say the shooter, who hasn't been identified yet, then attempted to take his own life. He remains critically injured at UC Medical Center.
Something so profound happened. Lives were lost, and now it's quiet. And it's just sad.
Lisa Dusing and Brad Lark were watching what happened from across the street.
We could see exactly what was going on. We were kind of keeping our neighbors informed so that their curiosity didn't get the best of them. And
that perspective came at a cost.
It just burned into my memory, actually seeing a young person wheeled out on a gurney, slumped over, and thinking, oh no.
The next thing I saw was the police officer was doing chest compressions on one of the women.
Doug Matthews also saw something he wished he didn't.
I think I've processed it entirely. The whole world changed for the victims entirely. And
he told us about a moment that stuck with him from before the shooting while walking his dog, when he came across a young man in the apartment building's parking lot.
He petted the dog. And I said, well, you got a friend for life. And he said, no, maybe for a minute. And then he said, you can go now.
We've also since learned the 2 female victims, Eden and Fiven Adugna, worked for Good Samaritan.
So as you can see, there's clearly selective memory when it comes to some things, when it meets an agenda of speaking as if Black people are uncivilized with those racial overtones that are sometimes used, or typical suspect. But no attention to it when it comes to a mass shooting by, which is oftentimes is a white male. Usually it's random if it's a white male, and if it's a black male, then it is targeted mass shootings. But nonetheless, we don't know in Cincinnati, Ohio, did Erickson Samuel know the person? His first name is Samuel, last name Erickson. Did he know the people, or did he just happen to randomly pick a place with 3 black people? But he basically shot them all at one time. And from what I understand, someone in the home ran outdoors, and so therefore the neighbors could see it. We know nothing about why he did this, whether or not he knew them, or was this once again a random mass shooting, as we have so many in America, and the typical profile is not black. Okay.